Roboco and the pudding, and
Roboco.
their unusually young teacher is showing off. So the summary for this episode is that this chapter is that the class is having lunch, and one of the classmates is out for the day. So there's an extra pudding. There's an extra pudding to go around. And everybody, well, not everybody, the main boys and Madoka play rock, paper, scissors for it. Madoka.
Actually, Madoka chua.
So here we have the teacher setting up the rules.
What's noteworthy about this chapter is that
there's very little dialogue.
It almost has no dialogue, and the only dialogue that happens is like a few words outside of the speech bubble. So it's doing that on purpose. That's not a
it made me think of parts from Nichijou.
Bakuman.
When there's
Nichijou, Nichijou
where they
also
just have the music and no dialogue going on. Those were funny.
The one chapter you're probably referring to is the one where they build up the
thing and the air conditioner falls down on top of it.
No, it's the lamp, I think.
The house of cards. Oh yeah, it's the lamp. You're right. Yeah,
and that
was so much worse in the anime, though.
Yeah,
that was so good in the manga.
In the manga, that was the perfect manga chapter.
Yeah,
very iconic.
This is also a pretty good chapter.
This chapter is also very iconic, and it had some hidden references. I want to see if you found the one.
No, one of my notes is I know that this is a reference, but I can't remember what it's a reference to. I wrote that like for 3 different pages. I was like, I know this is a reference. What is it a reference to? Like this one. Don't quiz me. I don't know these things.
Madoka getting really serious when she joins the Smash.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's just like her serious. This could be a lot of things.
Well, there was one panel later where she transforms into her board game mode.
Yeah,
I was like, I recognize that reference from previous in the manga, but I forget what other manga it was originally referencing.
I'm not sure the board game face, which one that is.
Yeah, the big chin one.
Go ahead. So Hunter x Hunter referee makes another.
We've seen a lot of this guy lately, haven't we?
Yeah, Roboco artist was really excited about Hunter x Hunter coming back.
Yeah, must be.
So one thing, probably like he asked the editorial department, like, "Can I use this guy?" And they were like, "We'll call Togashi and ask him if it's okay." Togashi was like, "I don't even know. Like, well, I don't want to draw. Can have him." And then they were like, "I guess it's okay."
Yeah.
Do you know how this version of rock paper scissors works?
I don't. Explain to me, how is Japanese rock paper scissors done?
This is a Japanese variant of rock paper scissors where when you win the exchange, you have to like point somewhere, and if the person looks into that direction, you usually get to hit them with like a fan or something.
Oh wait, this was also in Nichijou, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because they were hitting each other with harder things as well. And
this one is just decided by if the person looks there or not, and it's getting really really serious in this one. Really intense how they fake each other out, and how this is like last time I complained in Aliens area how there's sometimes panels of just the eye. And it doesn't make sense, but here it makes sense to show how the eyes of everybody
because it's where you're looking. Yeah, that's the intent of the game. Or it's important for the game.
Yes. And Bondo beats Gachi Gorilla, and then Madoka beats Motsuo. Do you know what this panel is referring to?
No. What is
this? Is like a direct redraw.
I know. I'm like I've seen this exact pose before, And I'm like, what is it?
I'll give you one hint. I'll give you one hint. Why would she hold her stomach?
Did she power up by eating something?
Very close. This is from One Piece, volume, I think 11, where they are in Whiskey Peak. And that was the island that's just bounty hunters waiting.
That's not where Chopper's from, is it?
No,
that's Drum Island. Which one is Whiskey Peak?
Whiskey Peak is the one that looks like a cactus, but all of the spikes of the cactus are actually graves. Because it's an island of bounty hunters who are waiting for people who come down Reverse Mountain. And yes, and they welcome you when you come in, like, oh, we love pirates, and then they have a whole party, and then once you are drunk, they try to kill you.
And it's the whole village where even the kids are bounty hunters, right? And they all come out with guns. Yeah, I remember that.
And among those guys, or rather, all of them are Baroque Works agents, right? And among them are Mr. Five, Miss Valentine, Miss Monday, and which number did Vivi's bodyguard have?
I don't know.
Her bodyguard, the guy with the
accordion
Mozart
hair guy.
Yeah. So this panel is from when Luffy wakes up and surprisingly defeated Mr. Five off screen and drags him out. And last time you saw him, he was fat because he overate. And in that small exchange, he digested all of the energy.
Okay.
And comes back, and now he's out to fight Zoro.
Oh yeah,
you remember this now.
Yeah, I'm remembering.
And that's why it's because now Madoka is fighting Bondo. It's almost like Zoro fighting
remembering Luffy and Zoro
characters.
fighting, and then the bad guys who are there to catch them are still trying to kill them, and they're just like, don't butt in. And they're like one shot all of them to continue their own fight. Yeah, that's
the scene.
Wow, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, but you're supposed to know this. You're supposed to look at any reference of One Piece and be like,
we have to instantly know.
Don't you remember everything that you've read in a manga immediately?
I am not Bondo. I need to gain that ability. So what's this a reference to? The drool falling down.
I'm not entirely sure.
Okay.
I drop falling down could have been.
Do you think in the original? Do you think it was a teardrop or a sweat drop?
Maybe. Could have been a lot of things.
Yeah. Could have been.
There might be. If somebody can recognize this one,
please tell us.
I would almost.
We've been stumped by Roboco. I feel like Roboco every week. Part of enjoying it is like being in a quiz, being like, "Oh, what's that from?"
I have a slight suspicion that this is from Jujutsu Kaisen.
Well, maybe we'll figure out when reading or going back to read for the first time parts that we skipped. Yeah.
Yes.
And then at the end, Bondo won, and he got the extra pudding.
Yeah, but since he's such a nice and manly guy,
he gave it.
He slurps up the pudding of a girl who accidentally spills her pudding, and then he gives her his prize.
And I was like, "Why do you have to slurp up the floor pudding? You would have been a cooler guy just giving her yours."
Yeah, but he also wanted a free pudding.
Wait for her to not look. I'm sure she's very thankful. but maybe she would be less confused if she didn't see you slurping up the floor pudding.
If this wasn't supposed to be the punchline, like the big joke at the end, this could have also been turned into a One Piece joke.
Oh yeah? Which one?
From chapter 3?
Oh yeah, with Zoro and the rice. Yeah, the floor rice. Slurping it up like that.
Saying it was delicious.
Yeah, it's delicious. I kind of want to look to see if Bondo... No, he can't be doing the same pose because Zoro was tied up, wasn't he? So he couldn't have his hands on the floor, right?
Maybe Roboco has already made that reference once before.
Maybe.
It feels like something that would have happened before.
You can't remember every panel of Roboco to know the references?
It doesn't work when it's a reference in Roboco.
So how did you rate this?
That's too much. That's too many. I love this. This was 80 points.
Okay, I didn't give it that many. I would say 7, but it's my fault for not recognizing the references. Because so many pages, I'm like,
but it had such a good ending.
What is this? It was a good ending.
It's so wholesome.
Yeah, this is one of the few endings that is both funny and wholesome.
Yes. This is where Roboco shines.
Oh, it's so wholesome. What the hell is he doing on the floor? That was great. Very good.
By the way, did you notice? This was a Roboco chapter without Roboco.
They're always so good.
Always so good.
Yeah, every time Roboco is gone. Maybe that's because she's off screen giving her energy to the chapter to be funnier. She's like, I don't think I was talking about it while we were recording, but like the kid from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. When he hit puberty, he wasn't able to get jobs because he wasn't a cute little kid anymore. So instead of acting, he was like, I'm going to learn Kung Fu and become a action choreographer for movies. And he became so powerful. He did the action choreography for the X-Men movie that Solid Snake wrote. Yeah, so it's like that sort of thing.
His knees became extremely muscular.
Yeah, he left the screen, and then was just powering up other chapters from behind the screen. That's what Roboco is doing right now. She's powering up this chapter from knees behind the screen with her knees. Yeah, going on to something that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say before we start, I thought this chapter was completely pointless. Like, why is it here?
It was bad.
It's Elaine's area. Let's get into it. Yeah. I'm not saying it was aliens, but it was aliens.
Oh! That's so good.
I think that I got more enjoyment out of setting this up in OBS than I did out of reading this chapter.
Yeah, I can imagine. This was like, yeah.
Okay, so let me get the summary. So Tatsumi Tatsunami, the man with the alliterative name, he agrees to join the Men in Black. And then Hajime takes him to observe a mission to rescue people who have been abducted.
Yeah.
And they find a bunch of the kidnapped people, and Hajime has to fight another alien. And then Tatsumi reiterates his willingness to join. And I'm like, oh, you had him travel here and witness a battle so that he would be convinced to join after he already agreed to join.
It was, it was just a formality, I would say.
Totally extraneous chapter, especially since he'd already witnessed Hajime fighting aliens in his apartment. So there's no point, because even if you say, oh, well, he saw the Men in Black saving kids, they just helped save his brother and sister. So he's seen that too. There's literally no point to this chapter.
Could it be that this was also supposed to be like a hidden subtlety test for Tatsumi, how he reacts to the mission?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Maybe
what he's paying most attention to.
Mm-hmm. Could be. I think that in that
if
case,
that had been the point, it would have been fully executed.
Yeah, if that was the case, it wasn't made clear in the chapter because I didn't feel that at all. It could be, but oh yeah. And first, you wanted to show, as always, there's more text in the Japanese version.
Way better.
Yeah. What's it say? Does it say anything important?
What's that? The unknown. Can't read it. I have to put on my glasses. I don't know. I forgot what these kanjis mean.
Okay.
The unknown something.
All right. It's not important. We'll go on. So yeah, here is where he invites him to go see their mission.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah,
the guy in the background.
It's a hard decision. Yeah, he wants to flashy thing him so much. It's like, please let me erase his memory, please.
In other series, the author probably would have already made that guy like a proper character, but this guy is clearly NPC. Like, not gonna show up again, not named. If he gets a name, it's gonna be like retcon, like, shit, I forgot. I should have made this like a better character.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of like the guy from Waste in Earthchild.
Oh, I hate that guy.
Right?
Such a waste of a character. That's
this guy.
Yeah. Oh, and just like that guy, he's like super obsessed with erasing people's memories.
Yeah.
What is it with guys with glasses in recent Jump series who have what's the deal with memory erasing? Yeah, what is it? He wants to do it so badly, and they're like, nah. And then also we get confirmation that, maybe it's confirmation. I thought it was confirmation where the glasses guy is like, are you sure it's okay to bring an implantee into the Men in Black? Which I remember last week we were speculating about how these guys both have scars on their foreheads. And we're thinking that maybe Hajime has also had something implanted in his head.
Yeah.
To give him powers the way that...
So the implication is that that's not the case.
Yeah, it sounds like nah.
Possible.
Yeah, unless Glasses Guy doesn't know.
And it gets worse because he says, like, if we just leave him here, then he's gonna get attacked again anyway.
Right, yeah. So
and
you gotta take him.
I thought that they were just going to extract the thing out of him peacefully.
But they can't.
If he said, nah, I just don't want to work with you. Yeah. I just want a normal life. Then they should have said, yeah, we just take the thing that the aliens want and then they won't come after you. Right?
Yeah, you'd think. What an oversight.
It's weird.
Maybe they really wanted him to be, or not they, but Hajime specifically, really wanted him to join up. So he's like, I'm not even going to give him the option.
No, of course it's supposed to be like, it has to happen. Otherwise,
otherwise there's no story.
Otherwise, there's no story. But realistically speaking, that should have been an option, right?
It should have, yeah. It definitely. And also, it could have even
would have been
that could have led to a better reason to have a second fight scene, and also it could have gone along with what do you call it? The hero's journey from Star Wars, where the hero rejects the call at first, but then he's forced into it. Because if Tatsunami was like, nah, I just want to have a normal life, and they start doing the extraction, but then the aliens come for him again, and then he's like, I guess I have to fight now. And that could have been something. But anyway, we should stop trying to rewrite this for them. So they go into the forest.
Not until they put us in charge of it.
Put us in charge. They go into the forest to look for alien abductions. And Hajime kind of tells a little bit about what they do.
Yeah.
They keep track of the aliens who have come to Earth for travel, business,
How much have you?
invasion, research, defection, covert activities, so on. You think that
How
invasion
much?
would be like the thing you put last? This is the most important.
I think in this context, I think invasion isn't like invading, taking over the planet, but more like illegal immigration.
Okay.
Shinyu could be a lot of things. Like they
Yeah,
called
okay.
when Ichigo and like real life.
Okay. When they went
different
into Soul
example
Society,
is
it was
like
called that?
that's the word they would use.
Okay.
How much have you like read about how if aliens were real? How much do you know about like scientists talking about like what the real life situation would be?
Not that much.
Because there's the question of like if the Fermi, like they have the Fermi
The Fermi
paradox where
paradox. Yeah, I know about that.
the scientists made the calculation that this many alien societies should exist. So how don't we know any of them? How do we not see any evidence
we don't
of
get
them
any
being
radio
active?
signals from them. Or
So
anything.
there's several explanations for that, and one of the explanation is that aliens are totally real and they are constantly observing us, and the whole reason why they don't
from us.
Yeah, the reason why they don't interact with us is like the Star Trek thing,
the Prime Directive.
The Prime Directive, where they're not allowed to reveal themselves to us unless we have cleared some kind of
interstellar travel
thing.
is in Star Trek, isn't it? Because in Star Trek, it's there's no contact until someone independently creates a warp drive.
Yeah, okay.
I think so. It's interstellar travel is what they limit you on. Imagine if they did that for like other countries on Earth. Wouldn't that have been screwed up? If like Commodore Perry and all his dudes, like they roll up to Japan and they look at them and they're like, they don't have any ships that can cross the ocean.
The problem with that is that the Japanese isolation was self-imposed.
Yeah. Well,
they didn't want to interact with us. It's the other way around.
Yeah, then they had an alien invasion.
That's the whole point of Gintama.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right.
Didn't want to have the aliens. Aliens come anyway.
Right. Because all of Earth is just Japan after all.
So the thing is that it's like kind of possible that the alien stuff from Men in Black, the movies, is actually real. Like how there's different factions of aliens who try to maintain the status quo, but then there's like some who are like, no, screw that, I'm gonna fuck around on Earth, because like if aliens are real, they must
put some stuff up people's butts.
If aliens are real, which means aliens having interstellar travel, they must be so advanced that like they must be able to
they can
like watch they must be able to watch our TV. So that means there must be aliens who are totally like...
They know they're genre aware of what people think aliens do.
If aliens real, then aliens watch Netflix, okay?
Can you imagine? The equivalent of that would be like if you're like a sailor on a big Navy ship and you go and you explore somewhere and you're just near some like really remote place where the people don't know anything about like intercontinental travel and technology, so you just screw with them, even though your superior officer like, nah, don't screw with those people. It's like, I'm gonna troll them.
Yeah, I can really relate to that.
Yeah,
that's what aliens are.
But yeah, they find the aliens abducting people, or the alien singular abducting people. And I remember last time we were both like, oh, the aliens, there's so much like dan. They're like really creepy looking people. And then this time it's just
This is the
ugly.
Doron school of monster design.
Yeah, it's terrible. He's got like a weird mandible mouth and eyes going the other way. I thought he was really
I hate
lame.
it.
Yeah,
It's so lame.
extra lame. And he's very fast, but
He makes a remark about how like Earth is an aliens area, which means this is a lawless place to aliens, but
right,
we obviously have our own laws.
right.
So we also go after aliens who invade us. And he gives us the situation that he has business here. He has to abduct these 5 people for some kind of order or something. Somebody ordered 5 humans to eat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, if I get caught here with local law enforcement, that's bad for business.
Mm-hmm.
Because normally as an alien, you're supposed to be able to evade police. But since these are the Men in Black,
they got some.
He bails.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be caught by them.
Yeah.
But Hajime turns on his Bellamy powers.
Yeah, and this
catches up
page
to him really
is
fast.
pretty interesting.
Uh-huh.
2 things are noteworthy.
Tell me.
One is that when he activates his zero gravity thing, it's depicted by having stuff float around him.
Oh, and it's floating outside of the frame. There's a shadow on the frame. Oh, that's so good. I like that. I like that.
And the second thing that that I find noteworthy is that in the second panel, the trees look
they're like Mobius
weirdly
trees.
veiny.
Yeah.
For no reason. What's the deal with that? Like,
what's the deal with the veiny tree?
I kind of need like a sensor
from
bar.
A different. Yeah, they look very
like
alien.
A really tiny, thin line over the trees.
I can't explain the trees to you, but yeah, it is an interesting kind of thing to them. It makes you wonder if those are alien trees. The problem here that I had was that I didn't think that his new ability, his 0G tool, I don't think the function of it was very well explained. Because the way that he behaves with it, I'm like, it's got to do more than just 0G. Because if you have 0 gravity, that doesn't mean you can instantly jump faster. Just means you won't fall down, right?
It means there's no air friction, and it means there is no.
But there is still air friction because it's 0G. It's not vacuum. There is still air friction in 0 gravity. You still hit the tiny particles of gas around you, and then
I guess it has to be 0G because that makes the space connotation, and then
does.
You're like,
there's another,
aliens.
There's another panel right after this page where he gets hit, and I was like,
and he just spins around instead of like popping 5 kilometers.
Yeah, I was like, the physics here are not correct.
Yeah. Also, the lame alien being able to hold his ground in such a battle is weirdly dissatisfying.
Because he's so
I don't
lame.
want him to. I don't want the lame alien to be able to fight. And look down on the guy.
So I don't mind an early enemy looking down on them only for the higher level guy to defeat him. I think sometimes that can add a good sense of the stakes, being like, oh, this guy is like the first person we see that's on the enemy team, but then I know I can't handle him, and we have to rely on the much more experienced person to handle them. I think that's fine, The only problem here is just that this guy is so dumb looking that, I mean,
this panel.
I don't
Why you gotta
like
look
it.
like that?
Yeah.
Why's he gotta do?
Why's it gotta do that?
Why's he gotta do the weird frown?
Yeah.
Isn't
the
that something
dumb
that
mandibles.
dudes felt like fuckboys found out that if you do that, girls find you more attractive?
Is that right? Well, any girls in our audience, please
Look
let
at
us know
look at any
if you find this
photo
guy more attractive with this kind of frown.
Jaden Smith.
Do girls
He's
find Jaden
always
Smith
doing
really
the
attractive? Yeah, he does do this
frowning.
face a lot. He's really into aliens, isn't he? Isn't Jaden Smith into aliens?
Is
Or is
he?
that some other young celebrity?
I mean, I know he's into esoteric bullshit, so
Yeah,
he might be into aliens.
He likes strange things. I wanna see if he's read Aliens area.
Probably not.
Yeah, if any of you in the audience are Jaden Smith, please let us know if doing this face helps you get girls.
If Jaden Smith was listening here, I would ask him something completely different.
No, this is a manga podcast. We only ask him about manga related things.
Fine.
Anyway, how did you rate this chapter that I said was a complete waste at the beginning?
Yeah, 54.
It didn't poison the well
like
at all. All right, I said even worse. I said 4. This one was totally pointless. I don't like it.
Although I guess
be. in retrospect, I do like this one panel where the thing floats out of panel. That's pretty cool.
I think this is
everything else is really dumb. See what we want from this: more of this cool paneling and style switches, because we also pointed out the style switch for the Dan aliens in the first chapter. So more stuff like that, less stuff like this, and give a little bit more thought. Also, give a little bit more thought to the tool usage, because I thought the zero gravity thing, it wasn't explained. I'm like, that wouldn't work.
I can accept the zero gravity not making sense if the monster design was better.
I would still quibble with it a little bit. I think the author of this needs to get,
but not to this extent.
Yeah. Have you seen Inception?
No.
Okay, because there's one part in that movie. You know the premise, right?
Yes, I know the
dream.
We've already talked about that.
Yeah. So one part in it is talking about how, or they don't talk about it, but they show that somebody is falling, and it causes them to experience a sensation of falling in their dream. But because when you're falling, you're
dying.
You're in zero gravity. So then in his dream, then he kind of views the world as like spinning around the way that he's kind of turning as he's falling. And I thought that was a really cool application of it. And obviously the action choreographer and director had thought at least a little bit about the physics of things when they were designing that scene. And I don't think the author of this thought very much at all about the physics.
Yeah, that's possible.
He needs to think more about the physics. Also more about the alien design. I'm not even going to show the page again. It doesn't deserve it.